There have been so many atrocious MMA judging decisions recently that I feel like I just have to talk about it because I do believe I have a solution. I think we can fix this. I think we can fix the 37-27 that one judge gave to Tai Tuivasa when he arguably lost all 3 rounds. I think we can fix stuff like this. I think there's a very simple solution, and I think it's honestly just being overlooked by a lot of people because I don't think it's something realistically that the UFC is going to do because it's so simple and it would solve so many controversies, but the UFC does kind of benefit from these controversies sometimes. I'm not saying it's done that way on purpose. I'm just saying it does benefit them sometimes. I mean, let's be real. Like be real. It does benefit them. So, let's go over some close fights first and then where like it could have been a robbery, it could have almost been a robbery, or maybe the right guy won, but we called it a robbery at first, and then after rewatching, we were like, oh no, I can kind of see the argument. So we'll go over that, and then how I think my system that if implemented, which I don't think it ever will be because it just makes too much sense, and yeah, if my system that I have gets implemented, I think how it would solve and benefit. It would benefit the fans and it would benefit the UFC as well. So we'll start off with the questionable decisions. Obviously, I brought up 30-27 for Tai Tuivasa. One judge gave it. At UFC 305, I believe that was on the main card. I don't think I scored a single round to Tai Tuivasa. The fact that that fight was even a split decision was kind of wild to me. Because, I mean, obviously Rosenstruik ended up winning. But, like, one judge, the only judge who gave it to Tai, gave it to him uh, 30-27, and I think he actually ended up getting pulled off of the his responsibilities for the night because of how bad that was. Because it was just clear that Ty didn't really win at all. There's no like in my opinion, from what I remember of the fight. I mean, it was a couple months ago. I don't like remember there really being an argument for Ty winning the fight in general, let alone a single round. I don't think. Um. So yeah, another one split decision with Brandon Royval versus Tatsuro Taira. I don't okay, so like I'm okay with like I'm better about this one because Royval in my opinion clearly won. I believe I had it 3-2 by the end of the fight. I thought it was clear 3-2 for Royval. And then they announced split decision. I was like, "Oh my goodness, are they really about to rob Royval like this?" Like and then they announced that Royval won by split decision, but it's just like it's not just at like any specific area. And I another fight I forgot that I should have included like up on the screen here is for Kretinov versus Carlos Leal. That was a robbery and a half. I don't think I remember scoring any round to Renat Fakhretdinov. I don't think I scored a single round to him. And then they gave it to him unanimous. Like they couldn't have even hit it behind a split decision. Like obviously in some areas there is worse judging than others. Like sometimes in Abu Dhabi there's some wild judging, like the fight I just brought up, Liao versus Fakhretdinov. Complete robbery. There's been questionable decisions before. Hamzat Chimaev conveniently gets a 10-8 in the first round, and I thought that fight was a draw, or a win for Usman because I think 10-8 you're pushing it a little bit with the 10-8. So in the first round, like it was a dominant round, but it's also just like that fight should have been a draw because I had Usman winning rounds 2 and 3. So still, point being, I'll get to my solution in a second, but another robbery, absolute robbery, 4-1 unanimous decision to John Jones versus Dominic Reyes. I don't know how you give him 4 rounds. There's an argument for John Jones maybe winning rounds 4 and 5, but you cannot give him the first 3 rounds. Not a single one of them. And they blatantly robbed Reyes, and that changed his career for the worse. That literally changed his career for the worse. Like I mean, I know he got. I'm pretty sure in his next I think in his next fight he got to fight for the vacant title. Um, he fought Jan Blachowicz for the vacant title, I believe, and he was automatically promoted to the number one contender. When I think he fought Jones, he wasn't officially the number one contender, but still, point being, that changed his career for good. Like, because who knows? I mean, he probably would have had to rematch Jones because Jones has, been holding the title at light heavyweight for like eons, bro, at that point. So he would have had to rematch him. Who knows if he loses to him? Then he maybe gets a different matchup. If he wins again and beats Jones a second time, like then he maybe Jones fights Jan Blachowicz because there was beef there, and that changed Dominic Reyes' career, like for the worse. So I mean, there's just many possibilities that his entire career could have gone completely differently. You know, another one, Pantoja unanimous decision 4-1 against Steve Erceg. I thought Steve Erceg won based off of damage. Um, I believe I had him winning rounds 2, 3, and 4, and arguably 5. You can give to him, and I just didn't think Pantoja won that fight. I low key thought Erceg kind of bitched him around, and he was cutting him open with elbows. I mean, he was clearly like you could tell like in the corner. I believe Pantoja was trying not to throw up, which would have been a disqualification win for Erceg had he actually thrown up. And then he also went on to say, I think he told Erceg, "Oh, you hit like a bitch or you hit like a sissy," and it's just like, bro, he almost made you throw up and lose the entire fight. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Anyways, and then he's kind of getting the Dominic Reyes treatment. I really don't mean to. I don't mean to judge this because he just fought Kai Kara France and just got knocked the fuck out. I don't want him to go fight like Manel Kopp or something and then get knocked out and then get knocked out again and then finally get another knockout win. Like he has the full Dominic Reyes like career. That'd be kind of funny, but at the same time, it would actually make me cry a little bit because I like Erceg. I like Erceg. He was funny for the memes at first, and then when I saw him like actually beat the fuck out of Pantoja, I was like, oh my god, bro, this guy is good. Like, because I believe like before that he had only like I believe it was like his best win was like Matt Schnell or something. Or like, congratulations, you KO'd Matt Schnell. Like, welcome to the list, buddy. And it's kind of like he's kind of like I would say he's kind of the gatekeeper of like if you're actually going to be a ranked flyweight. Um, I feel like if you can't beat Matt Schnell, then you're probably not going to be anything at flyweight. Anyways, next fight, split decision, Strickland versus Costa. I mean, bro, I had that clear either 4-1 Strickland or 5-0 Strickland. He had like dropped Costa in almost every single round, if I'm remembering correctly. I also think like in the fight, if he didn't like drop him every single round, he definitely like caught him off balance and made him trip, and like he was just outlanding him on significant strikes. I mean, one judge had it 4-1 Costa, and I'm like, okay, like I don't remember that being like a close fight. Like, I mean, I guess I should go back. Like, I feel like I'm getting gaslit by the judges right now to go back and watch the fight like a third time because I don't remember the first 2 times I watched it. I didn't think this was close at all. I thought Strickland clearly won, and then it's like they're gaslighting me into thinking, maybe I should go rewatch it. But no, dude, I don't remember it that way. I'm getting gaslit into watching the fucking fights again, and I hate that. I mean, it's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to rewatch fights, especially in the case of our next fight that I'm going to talk about, O'Malley versus Peter Yan. I think O'Malley ended up winning the fight. When I first watched it, though, I thought robbery. I thought there's no way they're about to rob Peter Yan. And after rewatching it a couple times, I can kind of see that they did kind of get. I think they got it right. I think there's an argument for O'Malley, and that's the general consensus of the MMA community as well. Is everybody thought, oh my God, they just robbed Peter Yan. They're trying to protect O'Malley. That fight. Oh, that's so stupid. They're trying to protect him and get him to the title. He's their new what's the word? I can't remember the word I'm thinking of. Golden boy or whatever. Their new cash cow. They want to get him to the title, and they want to get him, all the way up there, and so he's champion and he brings in pay-per-views and everything. That's what everybody's saying. And then after we ended up rewatching the fight, I feel like a lot of people were saying like, no, that is okay for O'Malley. And so here's how we fix it. Here's how we fix it. Now that I've gone over a couple controversial decisions, examples, and how I think this scenario or this my solution would plug into each one of these scenarios. It being less relevant for the Tai Tuivasa one because I mean the judge ended up did get end up getting pulled off. So it doesn't really matter for that one, but these other ones, this will have some implications on which judges keep their job. A lot of people will tell you, oh well, they should have former fighters doing it, but you can't do that because there's so much bias with that. I don't think you can have former fighters um, judging fights for a couple of reasons. Not only CTE, a lot of these people that they've been telling, or they've been like telling me, like, oh, it would be such a good idea if this fighter came back and started judging fights. I was like, dude, he's been hit in the head so many times. What if he doesn't even know if he's watching? I'm not trying to insult the fighters. Don't get me like, don't say that. I'm not trying to insult the fighters, but it's like if they have CTE, it's gonna affect their judging, and a lot of these retired fighters have bias because they either coach or have trained with or have relationships with a lot of these fighters. So you can't really do that because there's going to be some bias there, you know? Um, so that's why I don't think that'll work. What I think will work is if each judge is given a tape recorder and they are meant to commentate. Not Joe Rogan commentate, or not DC or John Anik commentate like, whoa, that's wild. Ha, that's so funny. No, no, I mean commentate like if you've ever watched like a fight companion where they're like, "Oh, good inside low kick. Oh, that's a good 1-2 from him." Or, "Oh, look at that. He's doing great work. Oh, look, he cut him open. He cut him open. On damage, this round goes to him." I need that exact commentary from the judges in these tapes. Round by round, they should be commentating the entire round, every single round, and they should be giving their live thoughts on who they think won and their reasoning at the end. At the end of every round, when they go to write down their numbers, oh, that's a 10-9 or that's a 10-8. Like, I want to hear why they're giving certain fighters a 10-9 or scoring the round to a different person. Like that first example we have, 30-27 tie. I mean, I know that guy ended up getting pulled off anyways, but I want to know why. I want to hear. I would love to hear his exact reasons for why he did that, because that would expose that he's either not watching the fight or he's getting paid off or something's not right there. So we need their live voice, the vocal cords need to be going, and I need to hear why they are scoring the rounds that they are to the fighter that they are. I need to hear, oh, well, based on damage, I think he cut him open worse. Or, well, I mean, he was controlling him the entire time. He got all those takedowns and he controlled him. I didn't see a single moment of success from the other fighter, so I'm going to give this round to this fighter. I need to hear this stuff, and it needs to all be recorded, and they need to be talking about it as it's happening. So that happens, and then at the end of the fight, they say, "All right, this is Judge," and then they give their name. They do it at the beginning and the end of the fight too. They give their name, and then at the end of the fight, they give their final score, and then they give their full name. So this is Sal D'Amato. I had this fight 50-45 for Strickland, or 50 points for Strickland, 45 points for Costa. I think Strickland won 5-0. There you go. Like, that's kind of like a blanket, kind of how it should go, somewhat. And these tapes should all be collected. Each judge's tapes should be collected, and they should be released online. They should be, like, I don't know, export it online somehow on the UFC website, like download them, put them in an MP3 file, and then put them online, or post them on YouTube or something during or around the same time of the post-fight press conference, so we can listen to what the judges have to say as we're also listening to, like, a fighter who maybe got robbed in a split decision, So, like, if we're like, yeah, dude, I totally thought that this fighter won that split decision, but I thought he won clear. I thought he won, 2-1, or I thought he won 3-0. Like, I don't know how they scored it that way. And as he's talking about it, he's like, at the post-fight press conference, he's like, well, yeah, I mean, I thought I did more damage in the first round, and then I thought I mixed it up really well in the second round, and then, he's giving his reasons. You can be listening to the judge's tape, and you can be hearing the judge be like, oh, well, I don't know about that. I don't think he caused more visible damage, and then you're like, oh, well, actually, I disagree with the fighter who's talking right now at the press conference who we both thought won. I think the judge got it right, or complete opposite way. You could be like, no, I think this judge is incompetent. Because I would love to see how how the judges scored the fight to John Jones when he fought Dominic Reyes. I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear their active like commentary for it. It's like, man, he's doing a really good job of hitting Reyes's fist with his face. I mean, he's causing so much damage. He might have broke Reyes's hand. Like I don't like. How did you score that fight for John Jones? Like at best, you realize it's 3-2 Reyes, and then at worst for Jones, it's 4-1 Jones. Like, I don't know, dude. So yeah, release the audio files, or release them on YouTube, or just release the audio files of the judges' tapes during the same time the press conference is going around. Or you can do it during whenever you decide to release the fights on like Fight Pass, so that I could rewatch it and listen to what the judge is saying, so I can be like, yeah, what the fuck is this judge like? What is he talking about? Like, this judge is incompetent. I have no idea. Like, what is he watching? You know? Or I can be like, oh, well, you know, he actually he does have a point. You know, when he's commentating, and you know, at the end of the round, he gives it 10-9 for one guy, and you're like, oh, dude, that actually makes sense. I actually agree with that guy, because that case with O'Malley and Peter Yan is a perfect example. Everybody was screaming robbery when that fight first happened, and then after we all rewatched it, a majority of the MMA fan base was like, you know what? I think O'Malley actually did kind of win that. I think he got, I believe it's rounds 1 and 3. You know, I thought he got both those rounds. You know, that's what a lot of people are saying, and you know, I mean, it really just begs the question, because like Royval versus Tyra, like I can't remember the exact rounds I scored to Royval, but I remember I had it clear 3-2 going into. I need to start writing this stuff down. I need to start writing my own judges' decisions down so that I can bring up specific rounds that were clearly Royval and Tyra. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'll score it live and I'll be like, yeah, it's clear 3-2, and then I'll kind of forget which rounds, and then go to bed after, like, you know, the fights are keeping me up late. Um, Man, I really feel bad for the UK fans, because I'll be going to bed at like what, like 11, 12, and you guys are like staying up till like 6 in the morning just to hear that your favorite fighter lost a split decision. Anyways, but you know, my point being, I'd love to hear why they commentated, or not commentated, why they scored why it was a split decision. I'd love to hear why Urseg lost the fight, because I'm pretty sure it's damage-based scoring, visible damage over everything else. And all I remember from that fight is Urseg clearly making this dude like gush blood, cutting him open with elbows, out damaging him clearly, and then Pantoja gets his hand raised. You know, I'd love to hear why the judges one judge gave the fight to Costa, because I don't think you can give it Costa 4-1. I think it's very clear that at least Strickland won 2 rounds. Very clear. And those 2 rounds that I remember off the top of my head are the first and the 5th round, especially the 5th. I mean, just be real. The 5th round. I remember the first round being clear, and it's just like, you gave it 4-1 to Costa. Like, what are you watching? I don't know what you're watching, but that's crazy. I want to hear like him commentate the first round. I want to hear him explain the following 3 rounds after that. I want to hear these people explain their decisions, and then maybe the UFC can look at these after hearing their judges' tapes and being like, yeah, this guy has no idea what he's watching, or you know, like after a controversial decision, oh, this guy has no idea what he's watching, he shouldn't be judging. Then they remove him, or they or Dana White, you know, pushes, because I believe they're hired by the commission. Dana White talks to the commission, hey, this guy's not judging an event ever again. That was atrocious what he did. We just listened back to his judges tape. He has no idea what he's talking about. And then boom, problem solved. In my opinion, I think it's that. I think it's literally as simple as that. I don't think this will ever be implemented, because I just think it would work too well. Not that I have like the influence to even get it implemented in the first place, or like it's just like unrealistic as fuck. But like, my point being is, if this was implemented, I think it would work a little too well, because I think the UFC can benefit from some shady decisions. I mean, John Jones is their go to the sport. Dana White has been glazing John Jones recently, and he got that quote unquote win over Reyes, even though he didn't. He lost. He clearly lost the fight if you watch the fight. Peter Yan versus O'Malley. Perfect example as well. I mean, um, Peter Yan, uh, I feel like was less popular. He was more loved by the fans, but like I don't think the promotion wanted him to win against O'Malley because they saw O'Malley as the, and literally in Dana White's word, yeah, he's got that thing. He's got that thing. O'Malley's got that thing, and he's been trying to push him ever since. And, I mean, I like O'Malley. I love O'Malley. I think his striking, like, say what you will about his personality, his life decisions. I think his striking is so fucking fun to watch. Like, I mean, masterclass against Cheeto. I mean, I know it's Cheeto. Cheeto's like a decent guy, but I don't think he's quite champion level. But, like, I mean, he just put on a clinic against him. He KO'd Aljamain. I like Aljamain. He KO'd Aljamain. You know? His striking is just entertaining to watch. He's just so dynamic. And yeah, like if he would have won against Merab, I mean, dude, like there's another there, and that's good for the UFC because if he wins against Merab, then there's the super fight with Ilya, and Ilya just knocked out Holloway. If Ilya knocked out, or after Ilya knocked out Holloway, if O'Malley beat Merab, bro, that's insane. Like that's an insane fight. Oh, Ilya just knocked out the guy who's never been knocked out. And O'Malley is just this super dynamic, like, he's unpredictable, and it's just like that just builds them both so much more. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, that's just me, ranting a little bit about O'Malley for now. But like, I mean, dude, I feel like a lot of these bad decisions benefit the UFC, so they'll never implement something like this or a fix for judging. But I also don't think a lot of people's solution, bringing back old fighters to go judge, they can be compromised. They can be biased because they've trained with some of these people, or some of them have CTE. They've been hit in the head a lot. So that's my solution for judging. Let me know how you think this would work out if it was implemented. Do you think this would work? What's your solutions? Like, I'd love to just yap with whoever comments about it. Like, I'd love to just yap back and forth about it. What's your solutions? Do you think this solution will work? And yeah, I mean, just let me know. Yeah, that's it. See you guys.